right now? Flip on the projector. I'll just put Mizan on the right page. Otherwise you must try to put them in, so it's alright. Yeah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم اجعل أعمالنا خالصة لوجهك ولا تجعل فيها حظا لغيرك وصلى اللهم على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How's everyone today? Let's start with some Surah now quickly, and then we'll move on to Surah Al-Asr. We're going to read just page 20. You did it for homework, page number 20? 23 and 24, right? Okay, so we'll read page 22, 23 and 24. And we can move on to next one. Okay, what we're going to do, inshallah, is we'll read together and then we'll translate. Okay, we read 22, 20 together as well already, right? Okay, we start 23. I'm just going to read page 22 because it's like the same chapter. You can just listen and understand. Maybe I'll even translate it. We'll see. أمام الملك, in front of the king. وكان في البلد ملك كبير جدا وظالم جدا. There was in the city a great king, very great king, and a very oppressive king, or unjust king. وكان الناس يسجدون للملك. The people used to prostrate to the king. وسمع الملك أن إبراهيم يسجد لله ولا يسجد لأحد. The king heard that Ibrahim was prostrating to Allah and not prostrating to anyone else. فغضب الملك وطلب إبراهيم. So the king became angry and requested Ibrahim. وجاء إبراهيم وكان إبراهيم لا يخاف أحدا إلا الله. Ibrahim came, and Ibrahim feared none other than Allah. He feared no one except Allah. قال الملك, the king said, من ربك يا إبراهيم? Who is your Lord, O Ibrahim? And everybody read with me. قال إبراهيم ربي الله. Ibrahim said, my Lord is Allah. قال الملك من الله يا إبراهيم? The king said, who is Allah, O Ibrahim? قال إبراهيم الذي يحيي ويميت. Ibrahim said, the one who gives life and causes death. قال الملك أنا أحيي وأميت. The king said, I give life and I cause death. Correct? How do you guys know that? أحيي وأميت. Because you saw the first one where we يحيي ويميت. This was how? أحيي وأميت. I give life and I cause death. Okay. Line 11. Line number 11 everyone. ودعا الملك رجلا وقتله ودعا رجلا آخر وتركه وقال. And the king called a man and he killed him. ودعا رجلا آخر, and he called another man and he left him. And he said, 9:12, أنا أحيي وأميت قتلت رجلا وتركت رجلا. So what did he say? I give life and I cause death. I killed a man and I left a man. how foolish. وكان الملك بليدا. Okay, line number 13 everyone. وكان الملك بليدا جدا وكذلك كل مشرك. And the king was very foolish, very stupid. And so was every polytheist. Like that was every polytheist or one of the social parties of the whole. Line number 14. وأراد إبراهيم أن يفهم الملك ويفهم قومه. And Ibrahim wanted that that too. Ibrahim wanted the king to understand and قومه ويفهم قومه and his people to understand. So Ibrahim wanted the king to understand and his people to understand. Line 50 everyone. فقال إبراهيم للملك فإن الله يأتي بالشمس من المشرق كده فأتي بها من المغرب. What does it mean? So Ibrahim said to the king, indeed Allah يأتي بالشمس. What does that mean? Allah brings the sun من المشرق from the east. فأتي بها. What does it mean now? So bring it. So bring it. This word here, فأتي, it's actually a command. It means to come. But when you say come with something, like you say فأتي بها, come with it. And as the translation is bring it. So bring it من المغرب from the west. So after this surah, look at this guy is so dumb. I told him Allah gives life and causes death. He brings a guy that's already alive and he leaves him and he says he gave him life. And he brings a guy that's living and he kills him and he says, yeah, I've taken, I've caused death. So he realized, okay, I can't use an example that he potentially has any power over. So he tells him, well, Allah brings the sun from the east, you bring it from the west. So what happened? Line number 17. فَتَحَيَّرَ الْمَلِكُ وَسَكَتَ. What does that mean? The king was confused. وَسَكَتَ, and he remained silent. وَخَجِلَ الْمَلِكُ. Line number 18, everybody. وَخَجِلَ الْمَلِكُ وَمَا وَجَدَ جَوَابًا. And the king was embarrassed and he could not find any response. خجل الملك وتحير. The king was embarrassed and he did not find a response. Okay, so what you're going to do for homework is, inshallah, we do the next page, Da'watul Walid, number 25. Do number 25 and 26, very short. Number 25 and number 26, inshallah. Okay. We move on now to Surah Al-Asr, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Oh, I forgot to say this hadith. Miss Celine did ask me, inshallah, I will do it this week. The hadith about Surah Al-Fatiha. Anyways, we move on to Surah Al-Asr, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Um, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سورة العصر. We read the surah and we will go into it. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Very short surah. I mentioned to you last week some introductory remarks on the surah. That when the surah was revealed, I don't know what all I said now. I told you the name of the surah, Asr. I mentioned certain things about the word Asr. What did I say? What did you say about Asr? Actually means to squeeze or press out something, right? And comes to mean time. But the image of time that we have in our minds is like time that's running out, or like the last drips of time. And we also identify that by identifying that Asr in terms of the time of the day is the last part of the day. The last part of the day. And in our time, it's also usually a time when people are like very engrossed in work and stuff like that. Like very busy. Right. I mentioned to you what Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala said about the surah. That only this being revealed would have been sufficient. Then I want to mention something about the main message of the surah. Just in summary, the surah is about life and the definition of success. Life and pursuit of happiness and success. When I say it like that, you can understand how important a topic that is in our lives. Because it's the pursuit of everyone essentially. Everybody is pursuing what they understand to be success. Everybody is pursuing what they understand, what makes them happy. This surah defines for us what real success is, right? And the pathway to real happiness. But it does it in a negative way. What I mean by in a negative way, I don't mean it's like a bad surah. No, it's not by negative. It means that it does that by alerting you to the opposite of success, that being failure or loss. So I think we'll get right into the surah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the especially merciful. Wal Asri. Wal Asri. So what does that mean now? By time. Why by time? Why not end time? Right, that wow doesn't mean end. You know a number of different wows, right? You know a wow that means end. It's wow al-atf. You know a wow that means while. You ever came across that one before? Just wow, something like that. That means while. And then you know wow that is just used at the beginning of a sentence. In my class now we have that all the time, just wow. It's not, you don't necessarily translate it as end. It's just the right? Indicates beginning of a sentence, and then you have this wow here that's used to indicate an oath. Wallahi. Now the purpose of the oath is not necessarily to promise you something, but in Arabic, the oath gets used as a literary device to assert something with greater emphasis. And we use it in English as well. Take a qasam to assert something. That assertion only has as much weight as the thing that you are taking the qasam by. For example, that's why when I want to take a qasam, I don't say, oh, I take an oath by a flick of dust on the carpet. Nobody cares about the flick of dust on the carpet. It's not going to add any weight to the oath that I'm taking. That's why if we take an oath, we say, Wallahi, by Allah, because it's the greatest thing that we know. Or you know, to somebody else they may say, I swear my mother's life or something, because everybody knows that their mother's life is dear to them. And that's what adds weight to the statement. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one actually that takes, for us usually if we're going to take an oath, then we take an oath by Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't always take an oath by himself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath by phenomena in his creation. But because we understand how oaths work, we understand by virtue of Allah taking a qasam by a thing, that thing must be important. You understand? We take an oath by Allah because Allah is great and important. But we also recognize that when Allah takes an oath, then the thing by which He takes an oath, we recognize that to be important and valuable. Right? So in this, it's just two words, wa and al-asr. A number of things are happening. One, Allah has taken an oath to assert something with emphasis. If Allah had to say anything, we'd recognize it as true because it's coming from Allah. Right? So over and above just the truth of it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to emphasize something. Allah wants to give importance to something. The second thing, we recognize that time is precious and valuable. Time is precious and a valuable creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In fact, time is the measure of our lives. From our perspective, time is the measure of our lives. Without it, you don't have any more time, then you are dead. You dead basically. You require time to be alive. Secondly, or thirdly, just in terms of the word choice, we understand that time is a limited resource. Remember the image of squeezing out? From the very choice of the words, we understand time as a limited resource, something that's running out. There's not that much of it left. The end part of that one asr. So what is it? So we said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes this qasam not to promise you something that He's going to give you something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes this qasam to assert something with emphasis. So what is it that Allah wants to assert with emphasis? Well, asr is not it's not a complete sentence. There's no mubtada and khabar. Is it? No, that will still come. So what is it that Allah wants to assert? The next verse. Innal insana lafi khusr. Innal insana lafi khusr. Inna means what? Verily, indeed, undoubtedly. Again, it's a particle used for emphasis. It's a particle that's used for emphasis. Indeed, al-insana. Now, if you were to be looking for mubtada and khabar, then this would be the place of the mubtada. This would be the place of the mubtada. You're going to ask me something there? What hal is the mubtada being? The mubtada has been nasb, right? So this one is it? Sorry, what did I say? The mubtada must be in raf. But this one here is in nasb. That's because it's a grammar rule that I haven't mentioned. Maybe you have, but yeah, also root with it's because of that inna. The inna changes something. But the details of that we'll learn at another time. But essentially, an insan is the beginning of the sentence, the subject of the sentence. And then what's the news? What about insan? Okay, firstly, what does insan mean? Mankind. There's different words for mankind. You can use the word insan, that's one word. You can use the word nas. Nas also means mankind. Usually the word insan is when you want to refer to the whole, but maintain an address to the individual. Like for example, if I say nas, then I'm just referring to the whole gang now. When I say insan, I'm referring to everybody, but as individuals. So that why I make the distinction is because when we understand it now to mean every human being. Like human beings, but every single one of them. So it's referring to the whole, but still addressing every individual. So in that insan, indeed all of mankind, every single human. So what's the news about it? La fi khusrin. Okay, now what's happening there? La fi. What does that mean? You know that word? La fi. Okay, there's actually two words there. Right? There's the la, there's the half, la, and the word fi. Now you know, right? You know what fi means? In. The lam? The lam is a particle of emphasis. You know the particle of emphasis. So how many particles of emphasis do you have in? 3. Wal asri. The qasam is for emphasis. The inna is again for emphasis. And that la is again for emphasis. So that means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asserting something very, very, very emphatically. Right? This is something you must be entirely certain of. Wal asr. Innal insana la fi khusrin. Most certainly, every human being is, I don't even know how to say it in English, is definitely fi in khusrin. Khusr means what? Khusr means loss. Khusr means loss. So this is what I meant by it being a framing that idea in a negative sense. So Allah is asserting something extremely emphatically. Every single human being is in a state of loss. Now we already understood that we're in a state of loss by understanding that we have a limited resource, which is time, that's running out. Right? So khasira usually means to lose something, to incur damage, to incur loss in something. So our time is running out. We already identified that. But obviously, this deen of perfect positivity, that cannot be the end of the statement. That would be like the most gloomy, depressing thing ever. Right? So that's not the end of the surah. So when Allah says every single human being is in a state of loss, why the thing is worded like that, why the verse is worded like that, is to create a sense of urgency. Because it creates a sense of urgency. As soon as I say every human being is in a state of loss, I recognize that I'm a human being. And as soon as I recognize I'm a human being, that means I'm also potentially in a state of loss. And what happens? What's the natural human reaction when you recognize you're in a state of loss? Panic is when you're going to continue drowning. The logical thing is now I want to recognize, how do I get out of it? I don't want to be in a state of loss. How do I get out of it? And then Allah gives a solution. But framing it in a negative sense is what creates the sense of urgency. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, these people are not in a state of loss, the urgency would completely be lost. If Allah were not referring to that limited resource that we have, which we recognize ours is also running up, in fact we don't even know how much of it we have, that creates a sense of urgency, and then the idea of being in a state of loss creates another sense of urgency. So naturally the human being wants to know, I'm insan, I'm in a state of loss, how do I get out of it? And then Allah goes on to give the solution. So what is the solution? إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. إِلَّا means what? Except. So istithna, making an exclusion now. So we said all human beings are in a state of loss, but you see, human beings, or insan, is a whole that comprises of not many individuals. So it's a general word. What we're doing now is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is excluding from that generality certain groups of people. In fact, Allah is only excluding one group of people. Allah is only excluding from that whole general group. Allah is only excluding one group of people. And one group of people that can be defined by 4 qualities. And we'll see what I mean in a moment. Allah says, illa, except. So all human beings are in a state of loss, except those who. As soon as I hear that, I recognize, I hope I'm from that group. So what's it? Except those who are. Alladina amanu. Amana means what? To believe. Except those who believe. Now very profoundly, Allah doesn't say believe in what? But then He says what? Before we just paper over it, Allah says what? And. Allah says, Allah doesn't say or, Allah says and. Those who believe and amilu salihat. Amila means to act or do, right? So they do is who's the fa'al of amila? They same like amana, right? Amanna, amanu. Amila, amilu. They do. What do they do? As-salihati. That's the amilu. Amila is the verb. The fa'il is the waw. Amilu. They. And the maf'ul is what? As-salihati. Which hal is it in? What hal is the maf'ul always in? Maf'ul. Fa'il is in raf. Maf'ul is in nasb. Right, nasb. And this word here, what hal is it in? It is in nasb. You remember your plurals? What kind of plurals do you know? Sound masculine plural. When that's in the raf, it's una, right? When it's in nasb and jar, it's ina. And then you have the sound feminine plural. When it's in the raf, it's atun or atu. And when it's in nasb and jar, what is it? Atin or ati. So this one here is ati. But remember, that word looks the same in nasb and jar. But we know it's in nasb because it's the maf'ul. Right. So they believe and they do as-salihat. What does salihat mean? We translate it as righteous deeds, good deeds. The root letters sad, lam, ha have a meaning of something being appropriate as well, suitable. When I say something, I say Islam is salihun li kulli zaman wa makan. I mean, Islam is appropriate and suitable for every time and place. The word saluhan means to be suitable and appropriate as well. So, if you understand it like that, you translate it as, that's one of its linguistic meanings, right? Just the purely linguistic meaning. It means what? Except those who have believed and have done suitable deeds, appropriate deeds. Righteous deeds also work, but I'm going to tell you why I mentioned the linguistic meaning. وَتَوَاصَوْا tawasaw. Again, wa. Right? And tawasaw. This is a verb. We haven't learned this verb form yet. Right? But the root letters are waw, sad, and ya. Waw, sad, and ya. Wow, sad, and ya. Now you may know something from this word. You ever heard of a wasiyah? Usually we hear the word wasiyah in relation to inheritance. When maybe I leave, I bequeath something for somebody, a bequest. Right? Somebody is not going to inherit me, but I leave a gift for them in my will. It's a wasiyah. But from the same root letters, wasa, it can also mean to advise, to urge somebody to something, to give them advice, to give advice. Now the form of this verb, I told you it's not a verb form that we learned. It's a past tense verb, but we didn't learn this form of the verb. This form of the verb here has the connotation of doing something mutually. So you do it to somebody, they do it to you as well. So tawasa means to mutually advise one another, to mutually urge one another. So they mutually advise one another. They give each other advice. They urge each other. What do they urge each other regarding? With the truth, al-haq. Tawasi, like I said, tawasi can also mean to pass on something from generation to generation, like we request. But here it will mean to urge one another to do something or to take up something. Means what? They mutually urge one another or advise one another bil-haqi, with the truth. Now if we just look at this in isolation, what is the truth here? What is the truth that this surah is asserting? Inna al-insana lafi khusr, that mankind is in loss. And what is the next the last quality? So that bil-haqi is a bi harful jar, and al-haqi is the ismul majroor. Okay, right? So you can say al-haqi is a harful jar. And then we have what? What? Again, and tawasaw, the same word, right? What does it mean? To mutually advise, to mutually urge one another to something. What tawasaw, and then mutually advise and urge one another with what? Is sabr, with patience. I don't like to translate sabr as patience, with perseverance. But sometimes when we think about patience, then we think about like letting time pass while you do nothing. Sometimes when we think of patience, you know, when the husband's waiting in the car, they tell him to be patient. But just sit there and do nothing. Sabr doesn't mean that. Sabr means being perseverant. Sometimes it can include that, but it means to not give up, to carry on doing what you're doing instead. So let's go through the meaning of it. By time, I'm going to translate for you. Let's do this first. By time that's running out, the last glimpse of time is being squeezed out. Certainly, man is in a state, every human being is in a state of loss. Except those who have believed and have done correct deeds, suitable deeds, and that have mutually advised and urged one another toward the truth, and have mutually urged and advised one another to persevere. Now if you look at this, if you understand the linguistic meaning of all of those words, it's as if, and this is the beauty of Juz Amma as a whole, it's as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is painting a picture for you, in a few words. So just close your eyes and imagine quickly. Imagine, I got this example from I think it was a video on YouTube or something. Just imagine, but I thought it's actually a nice way to conceive the tafsir of the surah. Imagine you are You're drowning. You're asleep, but you're underwater. You're asleep, but you're underwater. What's happening now? If you stay asleep underwater, what's going to happen? You're going to drown, you're going to die, isn't it? And the reality is you only have so much breath. Your breath is your limited resource. Right? And the amount of oxygen that you have within you that you can actually consume runs out with every breath that you take. So that's almost an analogy. You can think of it as our time is running out. So you are in a state of loss. You're busy dying. So what happens? What's the first thing you need to do? The first thing you need to do is to wake up and realize that you're in a desperate situation, to have that sense of urgency, isn't it? And so Allah doesn't say what you believe. Allah just says you must believe. You must recognize, you must know the truth. What is that truth? That truth is that I am in a state of loss. Right? That's from a linguistic sense. Obviously, from a Shari'i sense, if you look at it in light of all of the rest of the Quran, we understand that I must have the belief of everything that Allah requires me to believe, of reality. But just in a linguistic sense, in the context of the surah, it's as if Allah is saying they must believe that they're in a state of loss. Then what must they do? What must that person do in that context? Once he realizes I'm underwater and I'm busy drowning, and I accept my situation, yes, I am busy drowning, what must he now do? He must swim to the top. He must swim to the top. He must do the appropriate and the correct deed in that situation. Right? You must do the deed that's going to take him out of that state of loss. But then imagine now he swims to the top. And he recognizes now I can start breathing. Alhamdulillah, I'm not going to die. But then he realizes, hey, my foot is shackled. So he goes and he swims down to see what's shackling him, what's keeping him down. And he realizes, hey, there's another guy asleep over there. We human beings, we're all in this together. He realizes another guy sleeping over there. So what must he do? He must wake him up. Okay, let's say assume. So that's why you must advise him to also recognize the truth. Hey, you also in a state of loss, brother, get up. Maybe he can't wake him up. He swims up with that guy. But then he realizes that guy is so shackled. And then you realize, listen, I can't swim up with everybody. So what I need to do is, I need to get this guy awake so that he can at least keep himself afloat here. And then I can go maybe wake up the next guy. So he must advise, they must urge one another to the truth. Because as soon as they stop urging one another to recognize the truth, what will happen is, they'll all drown together. I can only keep myself swimming afloat for so long until I tire. And if I tire, then it's going to be the other guy's energy that's going to keep me afloat perhaps. But once he tires, or he loses stamina, whatever it may be, then he's going to drown. And I have to keep myself afloat. With him pulling me down, I'm also going to drown eventually. So they have to urge one another, listen guys, this is the situation, we're in a state of loss, we need to do something about it. And then also, what does Allah say next? وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. They must advise one another to be perseverant, to have stamina, to continue. Because as soon as somebody, even if it's the last guy, he decides, listen, I'm tired now. He falls down. Eventually he's going to drag others down with him. And everybody drowns. So it's as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is creating this image of human beings as a nation that's together in a struggle. They must recognize the struggle that they are in. They must do the correct deeds that will remove them from that struggle and state of loss. They must advise others that are in that same state. And then they must advise them to carry on. They must advise them to persevere. And they must persevere for themselves, but they must also persevere for everybody else. There's many layers or degrees in which you can look at this. The religion of Islam is a perfectly harmonious life that will bring benefit for human beings in this life and the next. The moment people and systems in the world deviate from that way of life, it will bring about harm, and the harm will affect everybody else. We can look at it in, just take one example, for example, take the institution of riba, for example. The moment we we indulge or we even just give up on opposing, it becomes the order of the day. And then even if we don't want to, we become affected by it. We become affected by it somehow. If not myself directly, but it perhaps it has some effect on inflation or something like that. And eventually it comes to me. In some way, shape or form, the harm comes to me. So that's why we need to be advising people of this reality of the correct way of life, beneficial thing, and that they must be perseverant. Because to follow the right way sometimes become tiring and hard and difficult, and that's when you require the advice, the encouragement of others to help. The last point I wanted to make on the surah is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah doesn't say those who believe, and separately Allah says those who do righteous deeds, and separately Allah says those who advise others of the truth, and separately Allah says those who advise others to have patience. No. Allah says everybody is in destruction, everybody is in loss, except those who have belief, and who do righteous deeds, and who advise others of truth, and who advise others to have stamina, or mutually advise one another to have stamina. So the exclusion is for that group of people that have all of those four qualities. So like I said, the surah in its opening, it creates within us a sense of urgency. An urgency to save myself. The solution that the surah gives to saving yourself is that you must imbibe within yourself all four of these qualities. If you have all four of those qualities, then you are from the saved few. Then you are from the saved few. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us, make us people who can imbibe this in our lives. I think we're ending for now. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can ask me next week. If there's something earlier, then you can ask.